Good day and welcome to Essential Presenting Knowledge and Skills in Our Marketing. Okay, so basically, there are four scenarios in presentation and also public speaking collectively. Firstly, is presenting one to one. Okay, for example, to your friends and to the people that you might know or even you might not know. Okay, the second one is ABC for three-person or more. A is advisor, B is the bridge, who is our introducer, okay, and C is the customer or consumer or friends, okay, and it can be more people, of course. So you need to tee up the advisor. That means you need to edify them, okay, in order to have the mutual respect, because the B and the C is based on the trust, meaning the bridge, okay, and the consumer or the client, you need the trust in order to close the deal. This is also applicable for sharing sessions. Okay, there is three-person or more. Okay, so the second one is public speaking, where one or more people in the group sharing, and of course it's public speaking to a group like more than three, okay, where it's on stage or even in some informal settings where it's in a cafe or whatsoever, or in a office. So it's basically a public presentation. Be natural, okay, is a very important key point. Like talking to your friends, okay, and like talking to your audience, on stage or off stage, it doesn't matter. Just be natural. For example, when you speak to your friend or speak up for your friend, do you feel tongue tied? I don't think so. So usually it's fine to have pauses or make mistake, as we are human, and will make some error or some unforced error. And in long term, please try to minimize it. So you need to structure your sentence or even scripts, okay, or by having a script which is not advised, okay, unless you just need to keep close or keep track to the points, especially the main points that you want to highlight, or the details point to the presentation, okay, using a slides, usually a PowerPoint slides or some notes. And you need to link the benefit you want to convey, which answers to the prospect what they need to know or what they want to know. So as for the energy level versus very natural, some speaker tends to be very high pitch or very fast. So it does not mean that soft tone does not have no energy or means no energy. Okay, it can means the other way around, which is very dynamic. Okay, especially when it's very soft spoken yet it's very soothing. But high pitch might be too high energy, so we need to balance, and you need to have higher energy with non-monotonous tone, sometimes fast, sometimes slow, sometimes faster pace, sometimes slower pace. You can decide when and how to use this, but some prefer to be themselves, which they don't go by this, which is still fine, as long as they communicate with the heart, which people can feel the sincerity. Okay, so some further notes are: speak with variety in your tone, slow down for dramatic points, and speed up to show excitement. Now you can even pause occasionally for some effects. Don't just stand behind the corner or in the center, or behind the stand where you speak, but move a step away to make a point. When you're encouraging your audience, you can take a step forward towards them. Hand gesture to show how big or how wide or how tall or how small an object is, which you are describing. It can don't have any much body movement also, okay, or you can have. So demonstrate how something looks or works or move as you tell about it. Show facial expression, okay, about something present, and let your face show other emotions as you tell an event or activity. Whenever your movement, they should have a purpose. Okay, an expert once said that it's like singing, but it's without rhythm, okay, and without the singing tones or the octave. You need to just project your voice out. Okay. Secondly, getting the first attention is very important. You could tell about the starting statement, statistics, or even story which listener will pay close attention. 2 months back, I was still very skeptical. Okay, for example, you can start with this. Current events you might have heard, in the morning, the news about certain news, that might keep their interest growing. A question is another way that people listen. For example, how many of you feel that the society spend too much on medical costs, or some people spend too much on medical costs? Okay, the third point is you try to keep within 1 hour. This is not to let people feel that the presentation is far too long, which will keep the emotion going as you grow along the presentation. As is actually found that in most presentation, as long as they are more than 1 hour, it's very draining to the stamina of the audience, and as well as it's not really productive, as people attention span is shorter. Okay, so fourthly, you need to structure your speech, preferably not to have 2 or 3 main point, okay, or more than that. Preview in the beginning of what these points will be. With each point, have 2 or 3 pieces to support, such as example, definition, testimonial, statistic, etc., etc. Okay. Now you need to tie your points with transitions. Okay, you need to there could be actually firstly, secondly, first, second, finally. Use an internal summary, okay, by including the point that you just spoke about and telling your plan what to speak next. Now we have talked about structure, so let's move on and let's go into example or stories, okay, or anything interesting. When you have made an introduction, 2 or 3 main points with support for each appropriate transition and the conclusion, you have your speech organized in such a way that our audience can really follow you easily and not get lost. Okay, so next, okay, as the famous saying, fact tells and story sells. So you need to know that fact tells and benefits actually sell via emotional stories. Okay, that's why facts tell, story sells. Tell your own story somehow in the presentation, especially in the technical presentation, including a personal experience that connects your speech content, and you want to help the audience link emotionally to what you're talking about, and personal experience or some experiences that triggers the audience emotion, or some of the audience emotion will do that. Other story need to be told in order to be emotionally sold for the prospect. Okay, you need to answer 3 questions for prospect, as 90% of people are always having these 3 questions. For example, is it really real, or is it really real, and what is in for me? Okay, and can I or someone do it? In the, especially in our network marketing, you need to share stories so that people can connect and really make their decision after the action call or call to action. Okay, you need to remember to move chronologically through the narrative, including questions, answers to the W questions: who, when, okay, what, why, where. So, and then for visual aids, you need to make sure that everyone can see. Make sure you are the main event and not the visual aids. Okay, visual aids are especially important when you want your audience to understand the process or concept, or understand a financial goal. Line graphs are best for trend. Line bar charts are best for comparison, and pie charts are best for showing distribution of percentage. Okay, visual aid could be any object: flip chart, a whiteboard, okay, a paper, PowerPoint presentation, overhead projector slides, or dry erase board. Whatever visual you're using, make sure everyone can see it. And when you're writing on whiteboard, please make sure that 3/4 of body, or rather your face, okay, the front, can be seen. Otherwise, it's not respectful, and also the audience might lose focus of the presentation easily. The best way to ensure this is to put the visual where you'll be speaking, then find the seat furthest from it and determine whether you can read the visual from the seat or even hear your audio from the seat. So introduce the visual properly rather than simply throwing it to the audience. Explain what the visual will do before you unveil it. Don't allow the visual to become a silent demonstration. Keep talking as you show the visual. Remember, you're still the main event and your visual is an aid. Look at your audience, not your visual. When the visual is not in use, please hide it away from audience, as the humans are a very curious lot and tends to keep looking at the object and losing track of the speaker, that which is you. So okay, number 8 point is dressing etiquettes. Okay, the dressing can be formal or semi-casual like business or professional wear. Okay, however, not too casual like no collar t-shirt, and preferably no collar t-shirt with jeans. You will project a more professional image, because first impression of less than 1 minute lasts, and first impression sells the prospect, okay, the product, the service, and even the business or the company. Okay. Essential presenting knowledge and skills. Part 1 of 3 completed. Please continue to part 2 of 3. Thank you. ACE Learning Group, thank you for your continued support. Please send your greatly appreciated feedbacks or comments to ACE Learning Group, Mr. Andrew C, HAPPYSE27@yahoo.com, +65963021009. Call or text, WhatsApp, WeChat, kakao, Line, SMS, etc. Thank you.